Hey guys, well I had a lot of time to play with the iPhone 11 for photo and video, ran it through all its paces, gave it a bunch of testings, see what it was like. Do you think the iPhone 11 is the new vlogging camera? Do you think the iPhone 11 meets professional photography standards? Let's have a look at some of the testing that I did. Wow, that looks strenuous. Okay, I got a lot of photos and I got a lot of video footage. All of it's unedited, that way we can see what the camera can do right out without any alterations done to it. So we're going to break it up into the photos and to the videos. We're going to have a look at the photos first. The first couple of pictures I'm going to put up, I just basically did the normal, what they call the wide lens, and then the ultra wide. Now I'm more of a telephoto type guy quite a bit, and I was surprised. I was really starting to love that ultra wide and some of the effects I could get with it. So in this first set of pictures, I shot at the bridge, and pretty well everything I stayed consistent from daytime right into nighttime. I stayed in that same area, so I'm shooting the same content. So you can see it in the daytime, you can see it in the evening, and you can see it at night, which makes it really cool. So these first two photos basically are the wide and ultra wide, and look at all the foreground in that ultra wide. I was quite impressed with this. Have a look. So as you can see, I didn't alter the file size at all. I didn't want to make any changes to the photo. I just wanted it right out of the camera, right onto the viewer, so we could see the actual quality straight from it. Now, in the next couple of photos, I'm going to show you the difference between normal and then in the portrait mode that the camera has available to it. Now, it does look really good, but on closer inspection, you see there's a big problem. I'll put a couple of 100% crops up of the problem areas, and you can see it has a hard time cutting out the area. The one where I'm in it, you can see on my shoulder, the one area that I'll indicate, it was picking up part of the rock thinking it was actually part of my shirt. So it did not blur it out like it should have. My hair, it also blurred down a bit, and on the flower one, you can see how it created that kind of a double edging. It's kind of blurring. I notice that you get a lot of blurring on the edges of the images. Now, looking at it at a smaller screen, everything's fine, but as soon as you zoom in and look at for the details, there's a problem there. Now, I have heard that they are going to be doing some updating on the software. They're aware of some of that issues, so I will have to check that out later on. But as it stands right now, it looks good small, but on closer inspection, there is problems with the portrait mode creating a very clean edged look. So let's have a look at these pictures and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, you can see what I mean now in that portrait mode, how it has that poor edge detection. Wasn't quite cutting out the way it should do. Hopefully when they do a software update that gets corrected, and I will test that later to see how well that goes. But the portrait mode still looks pretty cool. Okay, the next set of images that I'm going to be doing is backlit. It was clear blue skies basically, and that sun was bright. Now I did notice a lot of flaring and some washed out. Now in the ultra wide, I did notice a bit deeper blacks, which surprised me a little bit, but as I say, these images are straight out of the camera, so let's have a look at this set of images. Okay, so again, you can see what I mean to what I was referring to there with kind of the washed out look. Now the next set, I'm going to be standing in the shadow of a tree and backlit by the sun. So let's have a look at those and see if there's any issues with that. Okay, wasn't too bad. I was surprised with that. It is passable. I quite like that. I was expecting it wouldn't be able to keep the foreground and that bright background in, but it seems to handle it quite well. That Smart HDR seems to work quite well in that regards. Okay, the next set of images, I'm standing in the same place, except now we're shooting the other way. So I'm not in backlit situation anymore. I am in the shadow. It is a bright background, and let's have a look at those. You will notice though that the ultra wide is underexposed. Don't know why it did that, but it's underexposed compared to the other. So let's have a look. Okay, now we're going to time forward just a little bit ahead, and now we're getting into evening. You're seeing these images that the sun had just set underneath the horizon line. So I moved down to the bridge, and because it's a twin bridge, I went in between them to kind of get this cool shot. So I did the wide lens and I did the ultra wide. I also included 100% crop of both of those images so you could have a closer look at it. We are starting to get some noise introduced, but I was pleasantly surprised at how good the quality was of these images. So let's have a look at these now. That wasn't too bad. Even at the 100% crops, a little bit of noise, but I was impressed. Now we time shifted to nighttime. I'm back at the bridge in between the two, and I shot in normal mode, and then I put the camera in its night mode to see what it was like. I was quite shocked. The night mode looks really cool. Very impressed with that. I also took two other pictures of the bridge from different sides of the bridge, looking up and down the river towards the bridge. Like I say, it was quite dark out, and when I was doing the exposure, you could see the camera counting down to actually capture that. So when you go in the night mode, it may take a second, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds, depending on how dark it is and how much light it needs to actually compose that image for you. Those last two images, I did introduce 100% crop for you so you can have a look at it. There is a lot of noise, there's a lot of artifacting and compression, but I was really surprised how well these images came out from a cell phone. So let's have a look at these images now. And there you have it. That concludes the photo section and review and testing that I did on the iPhone. I love those bridge images. They're really good. Like I said, some noise and artifacting, which I fully expected, but it was actually better than I expected. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the video. Once I finish the video section, I'll do a complete summary of everything, give you my opinions and thoughts on how good this thing actually is and where it stands in the world of photography. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at the video. So we're going to time warp back to daytime, and I'm going to do a bit of a walk run with the cell phone to see how good the image stabilization is. I'm doing it in the wide lens, and then I'm going to do it again in the ultra wide lens, and we'll see what that's like. Now, I didn't take any care when I walked or ran. Now when I ran, I tried not to shake too much, but there was a bit of twisting in the hand. But I just wanted to see how it was without ninja walking or taking super extra care. I just wanted to walk normally and basically run normally and see how the footage is. So let's have a look at that, and you can form your own opinion. So here I am, just walking in normal mode and then running. Okay, as you can see by that footage, I'm not the most stable person in the world. And I wasn't really trying to be. I wanted to walk normally and just run and see what it was. It was quite shaky. I could have probably stabilized my arm a little more when I was running, so you didn't kind of get that twisting going on. But the image stabilization I think is okay, especially if you take care with it. Like I say, was not. I was just kind of just walking normally, running normally, and seeing what the raw footage basically looked like, and that's kind of what this testing's all about. Now I am going to show you a clip now where I put the iPhone 11 on a Zoom Smooth 4 gimbal arm, and we're going to see what that footage looks like with me walking and running. Now, I've already played it back, checked it out, and it's really good. Now, I know there's supposedly some issues putting the iPhone on a gimbal because of the image stabilization counteracts with the gimbal stabilization, and you get all this jittering. I'm not really seeing it. If you guys do see it, please leave a comment down below and let me know. I think it looks pretty good. I'm definitely going to do some more testing with the Smooth 4 arm, because for vlogging and doing some other stuff, that would be a killer setup, I think, in my opinion. But anyways, let's have a look at this footage with the Zoom Smooth 4 arm. Camera attached to the Zoom Smooth 4 arm, just walking. Now running. I must say, I'm really impressed with the video quality from the iPhone 11. I'm shooting 4K, 30 frames a second through all this video footage, so you're aware of that. You could hear when I started to run, I was getting some wind noise across that. External mic, dead cat on it, that eliminates that problem. But as I say, that footage looked really good. So what I've done now is I'm just basically hand holding the iPhone, doing a audio test, and I'm standing in the shade of that tree again, and I move from the shade into the bright light and then back into the shade, see how well the camera adjusts and what the video footage looks like, going from the shade to bright sunshine, backlighting, so we get a good look at how that video is handling those different lighting situations. And I think it did pretty good. Check it out. Okay, I'm now doing a bit of an audio test on the iPhone 11. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. An audio test. So let's have a look at the light. How stable is this? Now I'm coming into bright sun. How does it handle it? Seems to be doing pretty good. Seems to be doing good. Let's go back into the shadow and see how fast it adjusts. Now I can actually see again. That is really cool. That is actually handling the light really well. Now let's try and backlight, see how it handles that. I'm noticing some burnout on my forehead, but that's normal with the hair loss that's happening. But yeah, this is actually impressive on the camera. Wow, that is some bright sunshine. That is very cool. All right, so that's from bright sun stepping into kind of a dappled shadow, fairly shadowed. Quite good. Okay, I think it handled it pretty good, going between bright sun, dappled shadow into shadow, and back and forth. It was quite good. The microphone doesn't seem too bad. As I say, there is some wind noise, but you get that with any mic that's not protected. So an external mic with a dead cat can take care of that sound issue and improve the audio quality, because you'll be upgrading the mic. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to run a bunch of video clips together that I did starting at early evening right until dark, well past sunset. I really pushed the camera. I mean, it was really dark at the very end. The only real light that was coming from the area was some street lamps, or path lamps, I should say, along the path that I was walking. But this will give you a kind of an idea of how the camera acts and how the video looks in all different kind of lighting situations, because I've taken it from bright sun and now we're taking it to right dark, and kind of all the stages in between. There's one point where I'm kind of out by the mouth of the lake where I kind of do a little spin around, and you'll see once I get backlit, it tends to really wash that sky out, but it's keeping me pretty good. You can definitely see the color increase once I kind of swing around and I get that kind of a grassy knoll hill behind me. Then the color just pops and it absolutely looks beautiful for video. But I've noticed that in a lot of video cameras, when you get that hard backlighting like that, and the light being very low on the horizon, it's kind of beating right into the lens. So not too surprised with that result, but have a look, see what you think, and then we'll get into a bit of a discussion on my opinions and thoughts on all this videoing stuff. So let's have a look at this little video montage. So here's a little bit of scenery for you to check out. This is where I'm sitting. So here we are doing some lower light video. Now you can see it's quite dark back there. I'm illuminated by a light right by me right now, so let me see if I can't get away from these lamp posts that are around here and try and create it a little darker. See how much noise gets introduced with this. Not sure where that little spot's dancing around there. It's probably reflecting from the light behind me, but so let's kind of do a bit of a turn around here and have a look. But from what I'm seeing here, this is pretty clean. I'm really looking forward to seeing this on a bigger monitor at home and seeing how clean this video actually is. But I got a feeling it's going to be pretty noisy, definitely up in the skies, but we'll check it out. We'll see what it's like. That bridge sure does look cool though when it's all lit up like that. It's nice at Christmas time when they put a little more color onto it. But we'll just kind of give this a little bit of a walkthrough here. So as you can tell by this jittery footage, I think it's more me shaking than it is the image stabilization, but that's why I'm a fan of gimbals. So you can see the changing light around here. It's quite bright behind me from the lamp posts. I'm in more of a shaded spot here, as you might say. But let's have a look. Looking pretty good. There's that gorgeous bridge again. And you can see that great color it's picking up in the water there. Man, it looks really good. So, hope you don't get dizzy. Anyways, that's it. That's a good little test. Well, what did you think of that little video montage? It was pretty good because it went from early sunset right to dark. And I mean, it was really dark when I was doing those last little bits, especially when I was walking through on that path. It was really dark out and I wanted to push the cell phone right to the max to see how well it does in really bad lighting. So now we do have one thing that we haven't done. We've done the photos, we've done the video, and the one thing we haven't done is a Slofie. This will probably be the only time I ever use this feature, and I probably won't ever again, although who knows. But anyways, now I don't really have hair to blow in the breeze, but we can fix that right now, I think. So let me correct that right now. Well, that was scary. Probably won't be doing that one again, but that's a Slofie for you. Anyways, now let's have a look at going back over all the photos in the video that we did, try and do a bit of a summarization of it. This is my opinion only. I'm not sponsored by Apple or anything else. Let's talk about the photos first. On the whole, I thought the cell phone did a really good job, and in a lot of cases I was really blown away by the quality coming out of the cell phone. I mean, it was really good. The night mode stuff I thought was really cool. I really enjoyed playing with that, and the results I think were spectacular. Now, how does it stand in the world of photography? Well, I think the best camera you have is the camera you have on you at the time. So I think, great. This is another tool in your arsenal. Does it replace a professional DSLR or mirrorless? In my opinion, no. Not even close for photography. Not even close. The pictures may look amazing at a small resolution on your screen or on a small monitor, but as soon as you zoom in, there's compression, there's banding, there's artifacts. The sensor's small. When you have a small sensor, it has a hard time dealing with not a lot of light. So your best option is shooting in a lot of light. You're going to get your best quality out of it. As soon as you start getting diminishing light, your picture quality is going to break up. It's that simple in my opinion. So this does not replace a professional DSLR. Now you're going to have a lot of people saying, oh, this is, you can replace your DSLR and everything else, but they're only showing you little pictures. That's why I included the 100% crops. So you could actually look zoomed in at what was actually happening within that image. And you could see some jagged edges, like I say, the banding, the noise, the artifacting, everything that was going on within the picture. Now, it's still amazing for what it is, but it does not replace a professional level photo from a pro camera. Not in my opinion. It's not even close. The quality from a pro camera is miles away from this. This is still good, and I definitely think it's a tool in your arsenal. Now, for video, I was really pleased with the video quality out of this. Now, is it pro level compared to the pro level cameras? Probably not. I don't have pro level video equipment. I'm only shooting 1080 right now because that's all my Nikon can shoot. I will be upgrading later in time to one that can do 4K. So this beats it because it shoots 4K. And when I downsize the 4K to 1080, it looks really sweet. Now this video will be rendered in 4K, so you get to see the true look from the video from this. So, but I still don't think the video quality would be up there with a professional quality video camera. I still think, like I said, this is a tool in your bag that you can use with other things, and I definitely think you can do a lot of great stuff with this video. Now, if you notice, all the photos I put up, all the video I put up, it's all raw. I didn't change or do anything to it. In the videos, I didn't do any fancy transitions, no cinematic stuff, because I wanted you to see it as it is. When I'm going on YouTube, all I'm seeing basically is this final product where the person's color graded it, they've done some cool transitions, and I mean the quality and everything else looks amazing in the video. But it doesn't actually tell me how good this is because I don't know what problems they're correcting. I wanted to show you what the problems were, where they were, and what the raw footage looked like. Now, I think shooting video in good light, you can get some really cool stuff, and even lower light, it's really quite passable. And I think you can create some really amazing video footage from this. When you've got the skills in photo editing and video editing, and you've got the good light, I think you can get some spectacular stuff out of that. I may try and play with the video and see if I can't create a short little video clip story and put in those fancy transitions and do the color grading and really try and do the best I possibly can with it. I'm still relatively new in the world of videography. I'm definitely more of a photographer, but I'm definitely enjoying playing with the video part. So in the world of photography, where does this stand? Well, it's a consumer level. It basically is. You may even be able to push to prosumer maybe, but it's definitely not pro gear. Definitely a tool to have in the bag, like the Osmo Pocket. Now, I did have it on the Zoom Smooth forearm. I will be doing a separate video on that just so you can have a look at that. But yeah, on the whole, very pleased with this. Very, very pleased. Still loving that red color. I've got it in a clear case. That way I get to show off that fancy, nice red. But I think there you have it. Now, I'd love to hear your opinions in the comments down below to what you thought of the raw photos and the raw video. Like I say, I probably will put together a video later on and try and do like a little cinematic with the fancy transitions and create a little mini movie and see what final product I can get out of this. This is just simply the raw footage part of it. So, but there you have it. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe down below. Hit that bell notification so you're aware when I post new videos. And with that being said, guys, until the next time.